Hello. Good evening, Erdal.
Good evening.
Glad to see that you're here in the Blab finally. And of course, I need to point out to the audience that you're also from Belgium. So
correct.
This evening, we were two Belgians who were going to talk in English. So that's a little bit awkward. But
and Cindy is also in
the audience. Yeah, I see. Well, for one thing, perhaps we can point out that, okay, you're an Amazon FBA seller who loves passive income. You have also been authoring some books, and you're also a coach, if I understand well.
Correct, yeah.
Well, glad to see you. Perhaps you can tell a little bit about yourself and also about passive income, because I guess for some people, passive income is really an awkward word, so we don't know what it is. So perhaps you can point out.
Or looks like scam, maybe. So as you said, my name is Erdal Gül. I am living in Belgium with my family. I'm not born here, but after I think a few months, I ended up here actually with my parents. So. I'm born in Turkey, by the way, but I'm living here. I'm 39 years old, so I live a long time here in Belgium.
Okay.
I have both nationalities, but and I'm an IT person. Actually, started in '99. So I will give you a nutshell, the background. And in '99, started in IT industry, and then in 2003, transitioned to online marketing. Then until 2013, I was doing online marketing. So I had a company as well, started in 2007, my own company. Before I had a one-man company, but it was a side business next to my full-time income. So no full-time job, basically. And I always, wanted to, earn money from the internet because there was a passion. And, in all those years until 2013, it wasn't, I never succeeded in earning that. So for me, the reason why I started my own business is because, I was working in a multinational, and I've seen some good people leaving, and that's why, I said they were like 50, 55 years old, and I never wanted to end up actually, not that these people were bad, but for me, I had to take my own destiny in my own hands. So for me, that was a push. So in order to build, my own destiny and my own future rather than someone else's dream. So that was the reason why I was so motivated about this internet.
You were from the start, you were in fact an entrepreneur. That's really clear. But how did you have you been notified about passive income online? How does it come what you do today? How did you roll into it, in fact, and what is it, in fact?
Well, as I said, I started with internet marketing, and willing or not, you end up seeing those fancy mails from marketers like earning X amount of dollars, and it looks like very easy, but for me it was I had to figure out first the Google game. That's why I'm started with that first. But then I saw people, earning money with Google, ranking your website high and then selling your website for decent amount of money. But actually, there was not, there was quite active income for me because I had clients, I worked for them. But even with an online business like Google, it was still very active. If I don't perform, I don't get results, so I don't get money. It was that was the reason, and Google had also changed the game a lot of times. So for me, I had to figure out some way, which is the passive way, to do something that requires fair amount of effort initially, and then maintaining it actually. So to be, as a business model, it was very efficient. And since I am a bit of a lazy person, so there was a kind of a good option.
So if I understand you well, it means that you have to put less effort to earn money. Is that correct?
No, but it is actually, I started with, in the passive world, I started with books, publishing books. It was a lot of work actually in the beginning. But the more I did, after some time, the less I had to do in, maintaining. So I put the most time in the launch when I launched a book, let's say, and then I didn't have to put the same time anymore. So that is for me, a reason why like passive income is better, because if you put 20 hours in the beginning and then after 3 months or 5 months you end up doing like 4 hours or 5 hours, then if you get the same result like in money, then you do less but still getting the same result. So that's all about the passive income. So
and that are books on Amazon, or how do I have
to... Amazon Kindle and also printed books, so like paperback versions.
Yes.
So I had I followed for that a course which was $70, I think. I purchased that. I had the mindset like, I will buy it and see, if I can make it or not. And if not, what do I lose? It's just $70. So that was the mindset when I jumped in.
So it was really inexpensive to start up, in fact.
Yeah. So it was really inexpensive, and the videos were kind of simple. It was explained in a really simplistic way. So no big videos, like 5 to 10 minutes videos. Like, I think I know the exact amount of videos by then. It was 23. So I had to invest like 230 minutes or 240 minutes. So it's like 4 hours. I think I watched them in a weekend 2 times. And then I started with the research. So that's how I enrolled with the first book. And the initial investment was $100, so $100. That was, and then, after 3 days, I made, I think, $2 or $5. I don't remember anymore, but it was very exciting for me because even I spent $70, but that $2 or $5 was, a huge accomplishment, because I never earned before that amount of money. Even if it's symbolic, like 2 or 5, doesn't mean anything, but it was the push. For me, I had that was the signal, so I had to push the limit. If I can 5, why not 20 or why not 50? So that's how it began, and then started publishing more. So in the end, I ended up publishing 50 books of that kind of books, and then. So I stopped with 50 because Amazon has changed the algorithm, and I jumped from that to selling physical product, because at that moment I've seen a YouTube video from Ryan Daniel Moran, and it bit me, it infected me like a virus. I had that in my mind, like it was, or he was telling it so easily, so simplistically. So I thought, if he can do it, I can do it as well.
Before passing on the products, the Amazon products, I would like to ask you one question. You were referring to the 50 books that you have published, but on average, what is the ROI? How long does it take to have your investment returned for one book?
In my case, it took actually. Depending on the book, some book, I earned it after 1 month, some after 2 months, some after 3 months, but
Okay.
usually on average, like 60% of the time, I got my money back after 1 month.
Yeah, that's a huge ROI. That's clear. And
Yeah.
then you fell into the Amazon goods. Is there also a passive income generation, or how do I have to see?
Yeah,
perhaps
you have to still do, with the books, you publish it, they are there, it's published it's on the marketplace. People can buy it. If you do zero investment in time, you'll still earn money, but it will decrease after some time. But that's true passive income, I think, because you don't do anything. But the selling products is, it requires some management, inventory management. Like, you have to monitor your inventory, when to order. Even that's not a full-time job, but still you have to, check. Even if it's one time per week, you need to check your inventory level, when to order. But the launch is quite active because, you have to do some stuff upfront. But once it's launched and you have done your marketing, the launch, then it is actually the inventory management that needs to be taken care of, which is not a full-time job because I only watch for the inventory. Even I check every day, but it's just I log in every morning and I stay maybe 5 minutes in the back end and then I go out. But if that's called work.
Wait, let me get this straight. So you mean that you're producing goods and you're selling goods? But where do you produce the goods and where do you sell them?
I buy them in China, like from the factory directly, and I sell them in the US.
So, and you live in Belgium. So as a Belgian, you manufacture in China and you sell in.
Correct. Right. Seems so impossible, but
that's impressive. That's impressive, really.
I get the samples, in Belgium. I check them. I check the quality, and then and there are services like or companies who do the inspection over there. They can do the inspection. You don't have to go there unless you're gonna buy like few containers. Then I think it's best to go. But I'm not at that level, I'm not buying in container levels. So that's why, it's easy. Easy, it's easy said, but it is possible. There are always, there will always be some issues, minor issues, but until you understand, you have a good relationship with the Chinese suppliers and some people, you'll always have to, be on your guard, and every time you have to give them detailed instruction what they have to do, because it's not set and forget business. You have to remind them every time.
So there we can perhaps agree that it's not completely passive, perhaps, or
no, I'm saying it's semi, because but you can make it passive. It as a one-man show. It is not that passive, it's semi-passive, because after the launch, you don't have to, work for hours a day. If you spend 2 hours a day, I don't know, it's still active, but you're not in a 8-hour job anymore. So, why do you do this? Because you want to have more time. So if you are able to choose to work 2 hours or 8 hours, which one do you choose? I mean, it's an easy option, but for me it was working less and earning even more, because it's the scalability for me that's important.
So you free up time that you can invest, in fact, for other business and family, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
And do you have some other examples of passive income streams? Just
for example, like yesterday, I was on a Blab. It was you can, if you are good in a profession or in a skill, you have years of experience, but you have no ebook. Let's say You can't write a book. Me either. I cannot write a book. I'm not a writer, but you can publish a course, on Udemy, for example, which is quite easy. And
we have seen some blabs about Udemy.
Right. It's all agreed, because yesterday there were like 2-3 Udemy blabs all of a sudden. I don't know. Yesterday it was a Udemy day, so that's why. So Udemy is a good option. If you're a photographer, you can put a course out there, how to use a camera to shoot, I don't know, nature, wild images, or if you're I don't know, any designer, how to use Photoshop, or if you're a programmer, even if you want to use Periscope, you can put a Periscope course out there on Udemy. So that's an option. And another one would be, if you're a photographer, if I was a photographer, I would take some good shots and sell on photography sites like iStock Photos, and there are tons of sites like them. So you put your photos in their system, and people buy, and you will get royalties. So that's really a passive income. So you do the one-time job, you take the photos, and then you upload on iStock Photos, for example. And if people like it, they will purchase it, and you will get paid by the company. So that's an option. And you can start a blog, for example. If you like to, if you love gardening, for example, you can set up a blog about gardening, give some tips and tricks, and you can sign up for Amazon's affiliate program, or any other big company which has an affiliate program who's selling gardening stuff. And you can write the articles, and then in between the articles, you can put the affiliate links with images. So if someone's clicking, because it's relevant, of course, you will show some gardening tools, products on your blog. So if someone clicks, then you'll get a commission. If someone buys the product through Amazon, through your link, you will get a commission. So that is a possible way. Of course, it's going to take time. I'm not saying it's an easy job, but you can start, something in your niche, and do some affiliate marketing. That's called, you promote somebody else's product.
Yeah.
When it's sold, you get a commission. Basically, that's what it means.
Erdal, if I understand you well, it's not something which generates income from one day to the other.
No, I don't imply that, and people who say that, take a huge distance from them, I would say, because this is not a easy or get rich quick scheme. It requires some hard work upfront, but it's worth on the long run. So in the long run, it's definitely worth it. You put initial time. With every business, you have to put some time in. But in these kind of businesses, it's if you treat it as a business and just see it as that, not as a hobby, then I'm sure you will reach your goal sooner or later. Because maybe it takes some time, maybe it takes a year, 2 years, but if you just focus on one thing, because when I published books, I only was publishing books, nothing else.
So you need to be very, very focused, I guess, and have the right mindset. It's not something like...
see it as that. I see it as this. If you build that, and once you get to a certain level, then since it is the goal to free up time, and once the income is rolling, you can focus on something else while maintaining the other. So this is how you start. And when you're making money, you can hire a virtual assistant and let him or her do that maintenance, let's say, for you.
But if I understand you well, in the beginning, you still need to have also a kind of active income, because you have to bridge the passive before
Right.
before having the passive income stream. You need still to be able to pay the bills.
Right. That's how I was doing it. So when I had my online marketing company, I was actually started with this publishing. So it was a side job as well. So
Okay.
but I put a lot of time every day in the evening and in the weekend. So you have to sacrifice a bit.
No television anymore at evening.
No, that's very good advice. Definitely not.
Now, for someone who wants to start off, do you have some other tips that you could give to that person? Let's say I would like to start up. What would you recommend me? But except from the mindset, because that's clear. The right mindset. Is there one passive income stream that you would say start with that, or focus on that?
Everybody has a knowledge about something. You'll know if you know about some topic. Enough, or you don't have to be the expert. You can start blogging about it and then building a list. So building a list, I'm going to mention that's something that I neglected so long, so many years. I just started, very recently, but I see the true power actually in building an email list. So if you do something, even if it's a blog, you can give away, even it's a 3-page long ebook, even if it's a how-to. People love how-to guides and ebooks. So you can mention that, you can give it as a free book, but they can opt in, because the sooner you start, I know it's not going to generate something, but even if you get like 30 signups a month or 20, imagine if you do that 5 years long. So you build a
impressive list
audience, but building the list, everybody's saying, like every influencer say, building a list is the most valuable asset that you can build. But in any to earn passive income, if you have a skill like designer, I would go do some design work, even create my vectors, my graphics, and then try to sell on teamforest.net or on stock photo sites. If I'm a photographer, I would do that. So if you have that kind of a hobby or skill, you may do that. Or if you are a teacher, born teacher, then definitely, and you should be teaching about something. So then you can create a Udemy course.
Yeah,
so if you have experience in IT, let's say for 15 years, you can create a course about many stuff, because you have seen so many stuff during the past. So you have the knowledge to create any course. I've seen so many silly courses out there, and they're selling. So if you know more than the average, then it's definitely worth.
That's great. That's great advice. I have here a question from Brandon Stein. Sorry, I don't have his
name. Brandon, yeah.
You know him, I guess. Brandon, his question is, what do you think of the whole self-balancing electronic
hoverboard craze?
Yeah.
I
guess he's referring to the Amazon
product business. So yeah. I don't know much about it. Honestly, I haven't seen a lot of them. I need to. So the thing is to wholesale them. If you see a potential, you can do search in Google Keyword Planner, Brandon, and check in Google Trends. Type in the word, see what comes up. By checking if there is a demand, because is this a new product? I suppose it is new, like newly invented, or if it is, then it's new.
Yeah. It is new. I can drop the link, he said.
Wholesaling is always good. if you are going to do a wholesale, because wholesale is gold always. Even if it's a new product, you can hype it, you can market it, or you can appoint some distributors, and they can do the marketing work for you. So I like wholesaling, even I'm not doing it, but that's my goal.
No. Perhaps we can invite him later on to make his point in the seat.
Yeah.
I have another question. I see. What about buying a list?
Buying a list. I prefer building your own list. I know he's referring. Maybe are you referring like solo ads, or if you create a list from someone else? I don't know. I mean, they don't know you. It's usually rubbish. So I prefer, instead of investing, to buying list, building my own list, and offering some value, so people know about you. And because you have to build a relationship with your mailing list. So, and these are people. So I don't see them as a list. So you need to consider them as people.
Okay, I would like to thank you, Erdal, for this
You're welcome.
blab.
My pleasure.
We're going to open the seat so that everybody can join us here and just do an after blab about passive income. Thanks again, and see you next.